Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another premiere draft of March of the Machines. So without further ado, let's get into our pack one pick one, which is going to be difficult. We're in one of these case scenarios that happens actually more frequently than you would hope in this format. We've got two rares. We have Glissa, Herald of Predation, competing with Urabrask the Hidden. So Urabrask is a really solid card for any red deck, giving all your creatures haste and making your opponents come to play tapped. That being said, I think I'm still going to go with Glissa here, even though Urabrask is very strong and mono-colored. Glissa is just absurd, because if Glissa isn't dealt with in a couple turns of her coming out, she's going to still take over the game, because you're going to be left behind with a ton of 2/2s. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to incubate 2 twice. So basically, every turn that Glissa sticks around, you're getting 2 more 2/2s to just have an ever-expanding board state, even if she gets dealt with later. Whereas Urabrask, you can get a lot of damage in with Urabrask nice and early, but once Urabrask is dealt with, that's it. Urabrask is gone, it hasn't left anything behind, so rather be on Glissa here, even if it is starting with a gold card right off the bat. I think she is more than powerful enough to justify immediately trying to strap in and dive headfirst into green-black. So for pack 1, pick 2, we've got a pretty weak pack here, honestly. There are basically no cards in any color here that I'm all that interested in. I guess we could we're probably just taking something on color, because there's really no reason to dive off the Glissa path with a pack this week. There's like Ichor Drinker, which is solid in black. Does fit the incubate theme as well if we go for a lot of incubation to go with Glissa. There's Invasion of Old Growth, which is a fine battle. A lot of defense on this thing, but it does come with a miniature removal spell with that 3 damage, which plays nicely. And there's like Wary Thespian, which is a fine way to set up draws. I think I'm the biggest fan of the Ichor Drinker. It's just played really well in almost every deck that I've had it in the format. Nice early game card. It can convoke things. It can get sacrificed to stuff. And whenever it chump blocks, it can then get an incubator later. Just pretty nice. So pack 1, pick 3 now. Blighted Burgeoning is some pretty nice mana ramp. It's going to ramp us up and mana fix us for whatever splashes we might want to do. It incubates when we play it as well, so that we can keep putting creatures on the board and actually have some blockers while we play our mana ramp cards. So I'm pretty high on Blighted Burgeoning for this potential Glissa deck. Play the Glissa early, or help splash in the Glissa if we end up with green as one of our main colors and just splash in the black. As for the strongest card in this pack, it's Artistic Refusal by quite a bit. So if I want to try to go like blue-black splash green or blue-green splash black, maybe Artistic Refusal is the pick, but I really like Blighted Burgeoning, and it sticks to just one of Glissa's main colors, so I'm pretty happy to still stick to this, even if it is definitely a bit weaker than the Artistic Refusal. So for pack 1, pick 4, we have a solid removal spell with Vanquish the Weak. Not an exceptional one, not one of black's best. Deadly Derision is the best one in black that destroys any creature and gives you a treasure. And there's also the -2/-2 spell for 2 mana, the Final Flourish. That's a 2 mana instant, -2/-2, or you can sack something and give -6/-6. Those are both a lot better than this. I would be really happy to take those super early, but this pack is weak enough, I can just take a Vanquish the Weak. The strongest cards here are probably just the uncommons, Stormclaw Rager, Ingaroon Eyes, and Phyrexian Censor, and none of those are that much stronger than Vanquish the Weak, so we're fine to just take removal. Alright, pack 1, pick 5 now. Nothing great to go with our potential green-black Glissa deck right now. The best card here is the Skyclave Aerialist, a 2 mana 2/1 flyer that can flip later in the game to draw us a card at minimum and put a land onto the battlefield at best. Pretty solid card. I think I will take it here over Dreg Recycler or Serpent Blade Assailant or Sailback. These are all just right around like good filler, whereas Aerialist is actually just a premium card. Very, very good for its mana cost, even if it is going to be off color. Pack 1, pick 6, we have a Jungle Hollow for a mana-fixing land, or a Scornblade Berserker for a very good early game value play. Happy to see a Berserker still around pick 6. That's a decent sign for black, so I think I'll scoop that up and just try to stick really heavily to black. Green is completely empty out of this pack, so maybe we end up black, blue, splash the green, or black and X, black and any secondary color. Just splash in a little bit of green for Glissa. Glissa is a very splashable bomb, which is part of what makes her not a bad first pick at all. She only needs 1 mana of each color, so you only need to find 1 of your splash color to get there. Probably just take a Cosmic Hunger here. It's a fine green removal spell, and this pack is getting pretty empty now. Alright, pack 1, pick 8. Saiba Cryptomancer is a really nice little hexproof protection trick in blue. It's like a, I forget what that card's called, but there was the green card that put a +1/+1 counter on something and gave it hexproof. It's like that for 1 more mana, but you get a nice little chump blocker left behind, which plays well in the format. I'm going to take the Cryptomancer here. I don't think Mirrodin Avenged is really good at all, and Doombringer's just pretty slow. So we'll take a Cryptomancer for if we go blue-black. Pick 9, Ichor Drinker. All right. Perfectly happy to see that. We're definitely in black. That is the only thing for certain. Nothing really playable here. I'll probably just rare draft, which I guess is Sunder the Gateway is the card I have the least copies of. Sure, I'm really not that interested in Seraphim Nuka-Penna, and everything else is basically unplayable. We'll just draft a Sunder the Gateway to fill out my collection. Could draft Invasion of Kylum to fill out my collection, but I am actually kind of committed to black now, so I should just take the Ichor Shade, even if it is pretty filler. Alright, Blade to Battle Fan is not a bad combat trick. Dreg Recycler is a very solid card. Well, we're happy to be in black. Halo Charge Scab is fun in the blue-black decks. There's a couple cards that synergize with it very well, but without a synergy, it's super filler, or without a combo. I'm not going to play Yargo, but I'm also really not going to play an Urn. We'll take a Yargle there. Alright, pack 2, pick 1. We have opened up another very good green-black card, and I think that is the strongest card in this pack. Period. The Elvish Vat Keeper here. 3 mana for a 3/3 that incubates 2 when it hits the board, and for 5 mana we can transform our incubator tokens with twice as many counters as normal. So if we have a 2/2 incubator, we can spend 2 mana and have it as a 2/2, or we could spend 5 mana to flip it as a 4/4. The Vat Keeper is super nice. It doesn't really need any other text than 3 mana 3/3 incubate 2 to be good. So it's really, really nice. We'll take the Elvish Vat Keeper here, see if we can get enough green cards from the left that maybe we do get to be just full-on green-black here, and that would be pretty beautiful. Invasion of Ikoria is not the most mana-efficient card ever, because you have to spend 4 mana to put a 2-mana creature into play, or 6 mana to put a 4-mana creature into play, so on and so forth. But when you have a non-human card as strong as Glissa, being able to have a deck that has a 5-mana Glissa in the deck and a 7-mana Glissa in the deck does make Invasion of Ikoria worth it, and basically makes Invasion of Ikoria just a slightly less powerful copy of Glissa, which is still very powerful. So we'll take Invasion of Ikoria here to tutor out a Glissa and shove her onto the battlefield. Alright, we only have Vanquish the Weak when it comes to removal right now, so this Collective Nightmare is very tempting. It's competing with an Overgrown Pest, which would also be great. 3 mana 2/2 that is going to draw either a land or an Invasion of Ikoria when it hits the board, depending on what's in our top 5. It is a very good deal, but we gotta have the good removal. I guess I have a Cosmic Hunger and a Vanquish the Weak. Isn't horrible. I do really, really like that Overgrown Pest, and I want to make sure I have enough green to try to be just a full-on green-black at the core, now that I have a double green card with Invasion of Ikoria and an Elvish Vat Keeper. I'm still going to go Collective Nightmare, though. That's just such a good, such an efficient removal spell. And it works out fine, because now we have Blighted Burgeoning, or Nezumi Informant, or Invasion of Zendikar, or Cosmic Hunger, so there's still plenty of good stuff for the green-black deck here. Now that I do have the 3 removal spells, I think I'm going to take another Burgeoning here. I think I like that a little better than Invasion of Zendikar for this deck. Be a little hard to hit the battle. Kind of just start with all the ramp, all the splashy stuff in the early game. Pack 2, pick 5, there is basically one on-color card, but it's an excellent one. I was considering taking one of these earlier, so I'm happy to take one now. Let's add an Overgrown Pest to the party. Ooh, very good 2-drop green creature. Yeah, pack 2 is working out really well for us. This is where we fill out the green half of our deck, and then we just take a bunch of good black cards again in pack 3, and looks like we're gonna have a real strong deck today. This looks fun. We'll take a Deeproot Wayfinder here. 2 mana 2/3 that might be able to ramp us up when it hits our opponent. But worst case scenario, 2 mana 2/3, not a bad deal. Alright, pack 2, pick 7. This does look like a deck that can make some great use of an Unsealed Necropolis, because this can help us dig 3 cards closer to our Glissa, or just pick up our Glissa once she's died later in the game. And even if we don't hit a Glissa, we just cast this late game as like a 3 mana instant speed draw 2. Just draw 2 weaker creatures from our graveyard. But yeah, Unsealed Necropolis plays quite well in any deck with some bombs. Speaking of things that would play quite well in this deck, Portent Tracker plays really well with Blighted Burgeoning. If we put Blighted Burgeoning on one of our lands and then we untap it with Portent Tracker, we're getting 2 extra mana out of that land instead of just the 1 that Portent Tracker would normally get. So we'll definitely take that. That's a really fun synergy. Pack 2, pick 9 now. Carapace is basically unplayable, as is the Archivist. Etched Familiar is not great, but more playable than the other on-color cards. Now I'll take a Blade Master and a Wary Thespian, and with double Blighted Burgeoning giving us a mana of any color, and Overgrown Pest digging for a land on the top 5, if we open up an off-color bomb in pack 3, or we get past one, it's possible we can try to splash it in. So we do want to keep that in mind for any rares, mythics we see early in pack number 3. We are looking like a deck that has the possibility of splashing without too much difficulties. I'll put the sail back in for now. Theoretically, we could tutor it all out of an Invasion of Ikoria. So if there's a really good artifact or enchantment on board, we have Ikoria on board, we can specifically tutor our artifact enchantment removal with it, which is cute, but probably not incredible. I don't love this pack 3. I don't think I'm going to try to splash in the double blue Jin-Gitaxias. It's not like the strongest splash in the world, and since it's double blue instead of just a single blue, it's a little difficult. Might just take like a Converter Beast here. It does look like I want a little more top end, especially with like double Blighted Burgeoning, so getting another like 5/5 Incubator later seems fine. There's not too much else in this pack for us though. There's a Moloch and a Huntmaster, which are both good cards, but I think I prefer the Converter Beast. Just a big later game beef. Alright, pack 3, pick 2. Time to scoop up another rare. I am not going to scoop up Hirobi Death's Wail. There are just too many ways for your opponent to easily kill this the second it hits the board. Sometimes, even in a really bad scenario, they have an activated ability to kill multiple of your creatures. But Ayara I will definitely take. 3 mana for a 3/3, you can tap her and sacrifice another creature or artifact to deal X to an opponent or a battle, and gain X life, where X is the sacrifice permanent's mana value. Later on, you can transform her and start reanimating 1 creature a turn from your grave and exiling it in the end step. So just gives you a lot of reach, a lot of ways to damage your opponent through some board stalls, even if you can't connect with combat damage. AR is a very solid rare. Skittering Surveyor versus Overgrown Pest. I prefer the Pest because it accomplishes the same thing unless you're splashing a 3rd color. Since if you're digging 5 cards deep, the Pest can usually hit one of your main 2 colors and potentially a flip card. So I prefer Pest over Surveyor, and that's what I will take here. I think ideally at this point we get a little more, maybe 2 mana creatures, but we're not really lacking on anything. A little more removal would be great, but not much I can do about that unless I took like a removal over Ayara, which I don't think I would want to do. I don't even know if there was removal in that pack. Now there's removal. We can take Cosmic Hunger or Vanquish the Weak. Actually don't know which is better. They're both narrow. They both kill pretty much just small things in this deck most of the time. Where the Vanquish only kills stuff with power 3 or less, Cosmic Hunger kills stuff with like toughness 3 or less most of the time, because we've got like 3 power creatures. But that's about as big as it gets. So both Vanquish the Weak and Cosmic Hunger have some pretty legitimate problems in this deck. Or we'd prefer like Deadly Derision. I guess I already have 3 of those more mediocre removal spells. I'll just take a Jungle Hollow here, because those don't actually help too much. Really want removal to kill something big, something beefy. Failed Conversion can kill a 4 toughness thing. Again, we don't have any Death Touchers in this deck. Or we've got like 1 creature with more than 3 power, so we have basically no removal to kill anything more than 3 toughness, so maybe having 1 removal spell to kill a 4 toughness card is good, I don't know. I feel like I'd prefer Gloomfang Mauler still, but I guess I'll go for the Failed Conversion. Just really wish that we had a Deadly Derision here or something to really wrap this deck together. I guess I can take the Gloomfang Mauler out of this pack pretty easily. Now a Wildwood Escort is a fine value play. Chomping Kavu at 4 mana seems good, or Converter Beast actually. Yeah, this is more of a Converter Beast than a Chomping Kavu deck. Gives us another potential 5 power creature for our Cosmic Hunger, which helps. Also just another beefy creature to beat down with. If we're super lucky, we can make it a 10/10 with Elvish Vat Keeper. Okay, pick 9. Now we've got that Moloch back. I guess we take that here. Or Traumatic Revelation's also fine. Neither are exciting, but they can both make the cut. I think I just take a Drug Recycler here. I really think Hirobi is just basically completely unplayable. I've never seen a Hirobi pop off. Every time I've seen an opponent cast a Hirobi, I've just killed it with something. And it's varied from me being able to kill it with one of my combat tricks, which is like not the worst deal for our opponent in the world, to me being able to kill it with just an activated ability, which is really horrible for our opponents when that happens. Alright, a bunch of off-color nonsense that isn't really worth splashing now. So we're just going to be green-black incubator nonsense. And this will be the draft. Alright, so we're currently sitting at a 50-card deck featuring 24 creatures and 9 non-creatures. That's 24 creatures with 2 Blighted Burgeoning that both give us a 2/2, so it's kind of like 26. So we could just cut 10 creatures here if we want to. And then we would still have essentially 16 creatures in the deck if you count the Blighted Burgeonings, which is perfectly fine. 15 to 17 is the normal mid-range to aggro creature count. Try to move aside our kind of weakest creatures here. We've got some really premium 3-drops, which makes the Etch Familiar, Flitting Gorilla, and Ichor Shade, which are all fine filler, look a lot worse when we have Ayara and 2 Overgrown Pest and Sandstalker Moloch and Vat Keeper. Have such really good stuff going on at 3 mana. And then 5 mana as well, Wildwood Escort, Glissa over Sailback Yargle. 5 more cuts to go. Doesn't look like an incredible Ichor Drinker deck, but we've got Dreg Recyclers and Scorn Blades to sack. Them. Fine. But maybe we just drop the Recycler Ichor Drinker package. Keep Deeproot Wayfinder, Iridescent Blade Master, Portent Tracker, and Thespian. I like all these a lot except Blade Master. Blade Master could get cut. I want to keep more 1 and 2 mana cards than that in the deck. so I don't want to cut all of those. Which means I think I probably want to cut one of these non-land cards then, and then put one of the 1 or 2 drops back in and call it a deck there. I mean, it's probably failed conversion of the Battle Fan. Got a lot. 2 3-mana creatures getting into combat for Battle Fan to do some stuff. But conversion might just be better, and we just don't toy around with combat tricks in this deck. At the same time, conversion is our slowest removal by far. It's also our only removal that can really kill something more than 3 toughness. But it can only kill something with 1 more than 3 toughness, so it's really not that much better to be worth the extra 3 mana that it is over Cosmic Hunger or Collective Nightmare, or the extra 2 mana over Vanquish the Weak. It's also Sorcery Speed, where those are all instant speed. So yeah, these are the worst. The Battle Fan or the conversion for this deck. I want to cut one of those 2 and put another 2-drop back in. I think I'm going to toss in the Blade Master and the failed conversion. This is a lot of mana, but we've got the double burgeoning here. And if I'm not playing the Ichor Drinkers, I don't have much to sack for the Dreg Recyclers. If I'm not playing the Dreg Recyclers, I don't have much use for the Ichor Drinkers. So we cut those 4 and the Battle Fan, because again, Battle Fan, much like the Ichor Drinkers, gets a lot better with ways to sacrifice it, like the Recyclers. So we just kind of ditch that sacrifice package and call it a deck there. Seems pretty reasonable to me. I think that'll be the deck. Alright, here's a look at the final deck we're going to be playing today. This is a green-black Glissa Herald of Predation deck. This is the big bomb that we pick one, pack one, that we held on to for dear life. Incredibly powerful card. If we ever get her out, she's going to be spitting out incubator tokens and potentially flipping them later in the game and giving them first strike, death touch. Just an absolute army in a can style rare, where even if she's dealt with a few turns after we play her, she's still gotten us a ton of 2/2s and a ton of value in general. So really, really nice win condition there. We even have Invasion of Ikoria to be able to tutor her out for 7 mana. We get to put a Glissa into play from our deck or our graveyard. So that should be pretty absurd. Basically a deck with 2 copies of Glissa Herald of Predation thanks to Invasion of Ikoria. So those are our 2 main win conditions. For the general way that the game's going to play out, we have some nice early game value creatures like Berserker to get some chump blocks and cycle away. Thespian can set up our draws. Wayfinder can set up our draws if it connects, as well as potentially ramp us. Blade Master just a filler 2-drop, and then Portent Tracker can ramp us up. The Portent Tracker works really well with the double Blighted Burgeoning that we have for even more mana ramp, as well as some creatures with the incubation. We have Overgrown Pest being able to draw us some lands, or being able to draw Invasion of Ikoria, or our other bomb, Ayara, Widow of the Realm. Not quite as powerful as our Glissa or our Invasion of Ikoria, but still a very solid way to close out a game through a board stall, flinging our stuff at our opponent's face over and over again, and then finishing them off by reanimating a few creatures. We've also got a Moloch for another decent value play against any blue or black deck, and an Elvish Vatkeeper, which works really well with all the incubation we have in the deck. We have the Vatkeeper, the double burgeoning, the Glissa, and so on. So with this, we're potentially doubling up the counters on some of our incubators later in the game, and even if we're not, it's a 3/3 that incubates 2 when it hits the board, which is quite nice. At 4 mana, we have 2 Converter Beasts for basically the beef in the deck, a couple 5/5s that we can get off of these. If we're super lucky and we have the Vatkeeper alongside the Converter Beast, then we get to flip those incubators into 10/10s, which is absurd. And then last but not least, a little bit of graveyard recursion value with Wildwood Escort, and a nice flexible land cycler with the Gloomfang Mauler. Big creature to ramp into with the Burgeonings, or some mana fixing with the Swamp Cycling. So that's the creature base. Solid stuff all the way throughout the curve. A lot of 2-for-1 value with Overgrown Pests and Converter Beast style stuff. And then for non-creature spells, again, the Burgeoning mana ramp, the Unseal the Necropolis to be able to search up a Glissa or Ayara. Well, draw us closer by milling 3, or just pick up anything for value later. And then we've just got a bunch of removal. Cosmic Hunger, Collective Nightmare, Vanquish the Weak, and Failed Conversion. Our deck is not the best at destroying massive creatures. Our removal spells are all pretty conditional. They can mostly only kill small things, but that's just the removal we were able to find in our draft pod, and we've got a solid quantity of removal for against, again, anything but some really big creatures. So it looks like a pretty solid deck. It's got just about everything we want. If we wanted the deck to be perfect, it would be like minus a Failed Conversion, minus a Vanquish the Weak, plus 2 Deadly Derision, something that could actually kill really big creatures or something like that. But overall, looks like a really solid deck today, so very happy to see how it does as we head into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1. No Black Source yet, but Burgeoning gets us there. We can Portent Tracker to untap a land to play Burgeoning if they don't kill the Portent Tracker. And that's if we don't draw any lands. If I do draw land, we don't even need the Portent Tracker on board to get the Burgeoning out. If we make it to high mana cost, which is very possible with Tracker plus Burgeoning, then we can Invasion of Ikoria for a Glissa as our plan to end the game. Alright, currently we've not drawn any extra lands so far, which is a bit awkward, but Blighted Burgeoning is going to help us a lot here. There's a Nezumi Informant. That's actually pretty annoying right now. Could Wildwood Escort to bring back whatever I discard if I discard a creature, or the Invasion of Ikoria. 1, 2, 3, untap, 4, 5. 5 mana next turn. 6 if I play a land. I don't want to discard this Invasion of Ikoria, but I could discard it and then just play Escort next turn. That's probably the plan. Yeah, that seems fine. Unless they have cheap removal for Tracker right now. Which looks like a no. Alright, we are still yet to draw land, which would be a massive issue if it weren't for the Burgeoning, but that's part of why we kept the hand. Okay, Wildwood Escort, pick up Invasion of Ikoria. Now we have a 3/3 to block their 1/1 and 2/2. There's a Bola Slinger. Alright, so no blocks this turn. Down to 14. Still no land. Alright, Overgrown Pest, show me a land. Alright, there we go. Triple Swamp, let's go. I only get to draw one of them right now, but that is still very helpful. Now I get to play a Berserker. Put a counter on. Probably Overgrown Pest here and just spread out as many 3/3s as possible. Once they flip Guardian, it'll attack as 2 4/4s. If they try to flip it, though, I can Collective Nightmare in response. So that seems fine. Let's spread out a bunch of 3/3s. And then I can use Portent Tracker to untap the Burgeoning to flip my 2/2. We should actually be getting to a great position to be blocking now. We're working our way there. Blighted Burgeoning, massive MVP. I am surprised and thankful to see that my Portent Tracker not getting targeted by this Invasion of Olgrotha. I want to take this opportunity to Collective Nightmare. I mean, all they do is attack with Wildwood Escort. Or Wildwood Escort. Attack with Sunblessed Guardian, and then I trade it. Trade Wildwood Escort into it. I think I'm pretty fine with that. Oh wait, no, I need to kill Bola Slinger, or they'll tap it down. Yeah. Okay. I do want a Collective Nightmare here, but I kill the Bola Slinger, not the Guardian. If I... Yeah, I can kill the Guardian with Cosmic Hunger later, sure. There, now we have a 3-3 to trade into their 3-3. If they attack. So no attack. We hit the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can plop a Glissa on the board or keep things under control by going failed conversion on Guardian. I'm just going to make sure things are under control. I'll play Invasion of Ikoria next turn if they don't make me discard it. Ooh, get a Vat Keeper coming up. Alright, so the plan is Invasion of Ikoria next turn. Take over with Glissa. Tiller of Flesh, that's fine. Cannot Cosmic Hunger that. Too high toughness. Enduring Bond Warden. Back up onto the Tiller to make it even bigger. I'm going to cash in the Berserker to draw a card here. I like having the 0-1 block. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not going to have any mana on tap next turn. I'll just save it for now. Might be a little greedy. Alright, there's a Glissa. And there's the concession. Big recovery that game. I am pretty happy with how it played out because we didn't hit a land for quite some time, but still got really far with Portent Tracker Blighted Burgeoning. We would have gotten really punished if they had early removal for the Portent Tracker there. So pretty lucky that they didn't, but I think that kind of just balances out with the lack of land draws that we hit early. So always feels good to get a pretty big recovery after a few mana issues early on. So nice to see the hand play out quite well in the late game as imagined there with the Blighted Burgeoning into Invasion of Ikoria and Glissa plan. So 1-0 now, heading into game 2. Here we are for game 2. Very reasonable mana this game. We've got 3 mana guaranteed for an Overgrown Pest, and we just drew into a second one. We're pretty locked in to hit every land drop we need this game. Drop an Iridescent Blade Master. Pass the turn. We're against blue-white, starting with an Order of the Mirror. They could go ahead and flip it here to hit us for 3. And that is going to be the case. This thing's a very good attacker once it's flipped, giving anything that blocks it -1/-1. So if I block it with 2 2/2s, I'm basically blocking it with 2 1/1s, which means I'm not going to have any good blocks here. So we just attack for 2, and then play our Overgrown Pest, seeing what we hit. Find a bunch of lands, so we'll take the second swamp for Ayara. We are down to 14 now. We've taken 6 damage from that 3-3. There's an Eyes of Gataxias for our opponent, puts a 3-3 Incubator on the board, draws them a card, but they have not hit land 4. Do I slam down a Converter Beast here? Seems fine. Because then it could be pretty mana efficient on turn 5, going cycle and play a 3-drop, or Ayara flip an incubate or something like that. And I could chump block here if I really want to. I don't think I'm going to though. Because this is 4 damage if I sack it to Ayara, since its mana value is 4. If I sacrifice Converter Beast itself to Ayara's ability, I'll shoot my opponent for 4. And we've got 2 Converter Beasts in the hand. Maybe I should have just ran out the Ayara here, because then I open myself up to playing a Converter Beast and just sacking it immediately 2 turns in a row. But now Ayara is going to be summoning sick next turn. It would be less mana efficient. I'd be spending 3 of my 4 mana on that turn, and then afterwards, if I drew a 5th land, I'd still only be spending 4 mana just playing a Converter Beast. But would give me a really good way to output a lot of damage. Ooh, we draw into a Glissa. Now I feel like I'm on Overgrown Pest. Overgrown Pest, hoping to hit land 5. We play the land, flip our 5/5 Incubator, and then have the mana up to play Glissa next turn. And I'm going to have chump blockers up now because I can't attack my 2/2s into this 3/3. I could attack the Blade Master in, but then if they take that bluff and they go for the block, if I have to spend all my mana buffing this instead of playing Pest, that's going to end really poorly. So I'd rather do this pre-combat so I can attack with the 5/5 Incubator. Maybe get it Afara's Dispersal or something with all their mana up here. Invasion of Ikoria. I don't think I'm that greedy. Yeah, a land is so valuable here because it means we get to immediately flip the Incubator and play a Glissa next turn. I'm grabbing a black source because I have a lot more black cards and 2 double black cards in the hand. The fact that they held all this mana up means they almost definitely have some form of interaction. I'm actually just going to pass and hold the 5/5 up on blocks. But I don't give them the just 1 mana Afara's Dispersal here, because this is a hand that can really grind out the long game. Let's actually just play for that now. Keep our defenses up, have a 5/5 on blocks that they'd have to spend 3 mana to Afara's Dispersal. Afara's Dispersal is the blue bounce spell in the format that lets them Surveil 2 when they play it. It's 1 mana on an attacking creature and 3 mana on any creature. Halo Charge Scab is the play. That is A-okay. Milled our Vat Keeper. That's a little sad. We've got an Unsealed in Acropolis. Yeah, if they don't end up exiling our Glissa, we've got an Unsealed in Acropolis to then just pick up Glissa Vat Keeper on a later turn, which could be absolutely disgusting. Well, now we have a Wildwood Escort too to pick up a Glissa. Yeah, just run her out. If they don't exile her, we've got some plays. Don't really want to trade a 5/5 into a 3/3. They could double block with both of those. I'll hold up on that. Seal from Existence. Well, they exiled her. It's okay, she still got us 2 2/2 Incubators, and we have a wide enough board state that if they don't also have removal for Ayara, we can now go for the Ayara victory. As the plan, just make sure we have all the blockers in the world, and then just start shooting our opponent in the face for 4 damage turn after turn with Ayara's ability. Flinging 0/1 Converter Beasts at them for 4 damage a pop. Meeting of Minds, they're going to draw 2 cards. Alright, Ayara's ability is instant speed. Norn's Inquisitor is the play. Now a Phyrexian Awakening, give all their Phyrexians Vigilance. Looks like no removal yet. Ayara's gonna get a 4 damage pop in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 1 mana off from Gloomfang Mauler. So if I Wildwood Escort this turn, I can shoot them for 5, and then if I draw a land, I could play a 7-drop and shoot them for 7, and maybe kill them with only 2 hits from Ayara, and then I still have Unsealed and Acropolis if they do put Ayara in my grave. This is kind of bold, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to get the 2-turn kill here. Shoot them for 5 with Wildwood Escort, shoot them for 7 with Gloomfang next turn. And now I get to pick up a Vat Keeper to go with all these Incubators, which could be good if the game continues on for a while. If we don't get the quick Ayara victory. End step, let's go for it. We could have a counterspell here now. For our Gloomfang Mauler next turn. They could also have instant speed removal for Ayara, but they go for that no matter what we sack. Cut short. Alright, Unsealed Necropolis will get Ayara right back. You can even just replay her immediately if they don't have a counterspell here. If they do, it's likely to be Artistic Refusal, where they have to tap most of their creatures to do it, and then they don't have good blocks. If it's the counter unless you pay 4, that would be pretty sad, but there we go. Ayara resolves, and now we are right back at it. Ready to fling some creatures at our opponent's face. And again, even if they survive that, we have a ton of cards in hand here. So we just start dumping out some creatures. Whenever I have 8 mana, I get to play Vat Keeper and flip immediately. Invasion of Xerax. Go for the kill on our 5/5, sure. They're going to try to flip this invasion immediately, or... what shall we see here? Sigiled Sentinel. Pretty much everything already has Vigilance. So just another counter on the Order of the Alabaster Host. It is. If they have Artistic Refusal, that's 2 blue and 4. So if I kill one of their blue creatures during this combat, they would not have it up anymore. I guess if they attack with Halo Charge Scab, they only have 1 blue mana up for that. Okay, so we know they do not have Artistic Refusal up. Attacking us with most of this. So the goal here is top deck a land, play Mauler, and immediately kill them. If we don't top deck a land, I need to be able to survive another swing, which could be a bit difficult. If I let them flip the Invasion of Xerax, they do have double blue up. So I think I do block the Order of the Alabaster Host. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage to my face. Is a lot, but I can chump block everything next turn and drain them for 4. I could die to the +2/+2 Convoke combat trick this turn. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that would put it up to 17 damage. So maybe I should chump the 5/5. Yeah, I'll chump the 5/5 too. I think I'm going to go for the kill on the Order. I guess that taps Ayara, so if they have the cut short, they get to do it again immediately. But they do not. I didn't hit the land, though. So I can't play Gloomfang Mauler and shoot them for 7, so they're not dead right now. Converter Beast is 2 blockers. Could go Portent Tracker to guarantee a Gloomfang Mauler next turn. And play Thespian and flip an Incubator. That's 3 blockers. Yeah, I just need to play as many blockers as possible. I guess I can go Thespian first, see if I hit a land on top. That is technically a land, but doesn't really count. And then I'll just play the Portent Tracker. If it stays on board, then I have 1,000,000 mana next turn. You can flip 1 Incubator. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers, but I also drain them for a bunch of life. I guess Ayara could block the 1/1 at least. Yeah. If I live through this turn, they're pretty dead. Even if Ayara dies. Well, no, if Ayara dies, then I probably die. Because everything they have has Vigilance. That's so annoying. That's a great top deck. Well, I just needed to draw 1 land. It is what it is. These past couple turns. So, what do I do then? They're at 7. Could still maybe Gloomfang Mauler for +2/+2 menace on something. But everything has Vigilance, so they're going to be able to block. I think that just ends it. I think we're just dead. That's so brutal. We found our route to victory. We did what we could to get there, but we just needed 1 more land in our like 3 draw steps or something. Didn't see it. So it is what it is. We might be able to live 1 more turn. So if I do this, I go to 3. And I have Portent Tracker available. We're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. I can play a lot of creatures in 1 turn, so I could find chump blocks again next turn. Could stack these up on that, but then I die, I take 10. I think I have to keep Portent Tracker for more mana. Yeah, I think I do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be my 9th mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 mana to flip 1 Incubator. Play a 3/3, a 0/1, and a 5/5. Probably the line. Yeah. Then I have 4 blockers. Uh-oh. Well, not enough blockers if that happens. Or not 4 blockers, I'd have 3 blockers. A 3/3, a 0/1, and a 5/5. They do that, now it's not enough blockers. It would have been enough blockers if they didn't have a follow-up there, because we block the 5/5, 4/4, and the 3/3 take 1. But now, block these 3 and take 4. Go Wayfinder, Vatkeeper, double flip, and that's enough blockers. Can't do the Converter Beast though. And can't actually trade into anything. It's like all trumps. You get to kill one thing. It's very much not enough. I hate this card so much. I've died so many times to my opponent's entire board just being vigilant. Like, we could have so easily just found a menace victory with them playing this aggressively if they didn't have all vigilance. Or if I just hit 1 mana sooner, obviously the Ayara game plan could have panned out. Or if they didn't top deck the Seal from Existence. Copy 2. A lot of things that could have went better here. But nothing we can do about it now. That is game. Can't deal with this lookout even if I could make enough blockers. 1-1 heading into game 3. Here we are now for game 3. Basically a 3-lander with Gloomfang Mauler. If we don't naturally draw into another land, we can cycle that away. Prefer to just run out Wayfinder turn 2, but depends what we draw here. How badly we need to swamp cycle. Okay, that is really interesting because Portent Tracker into Blighted Burgeoning is so tempting that I think I just run out the Portent Tracker here and we can use it to play the... Wow. That's actually perfect. 4 damage to their battle and kill our 1 toughness card. Seems like the best card you could have had that turn. Alright, well... Not a great couple of turns for us. The ending of last game into the start of this game. Good lord, what a good invasion of Vergotha that was. Now 4-5, which my deck just can't kill. And I have not drawn any lands naturally. Just the 3 that were in the opener, the 2 in the swamp we cycled for. I need to just burgeoning. Whatever I do here, they're just going to flip this invasion, get another battle. They just start the value train. It's like I start behind because I'm having mana issues, and it just means I'm going to fall monumentally behind as these just start flipping into each other. The board state just gets insurmountable here. Yeah, I mean, I think I have to just like set up the burgeoning here so that I'm actually able to do maybe more stuff next turn, but it just gives them the free flip on the invasion. My only way for them to not freely flip the invasions is to play like a creature just to chump, which is so bad here. Let's see what battles they have in their library to search for. Find a forest. Oh, it can hit a land also. Kami of Whispered Hopes. Okay, there is a land for us, which means I've got Glissa mana here. Drop a Glissa and cross my fingers, and green-red, if they can kill Glissa, it's probably by putting her in grave where we can unseal the Necropolis. Invasion of Maragonda. With the Kami on board, I get to flip one of those, put the other one down to 1 loyalty, or 1 defense. I can play a 3/3 and a 2/2, I guess. They have a 4/4, a 5/6, a 4/4. They're going to have a 4/4 that gives something +2/+2 every turn soon. I think I do this, and then I have as many incubators as I could, so if on a later turn I get to unseal Glissa back, I can choose to just flip all my incubators in one turn and try to make that enough blockers to survive. We try to just start banking as many incubators as possible. Yeah. It's a very simple game here. This is just what happens when you stumble in the early game against battles. Just the absolute steamroll. Don't have enough power to kill the 5/6, but I can double block here and take 12. They kill one of the 2 creatures on board. Okay, kill the 3/3. We're down to 8. Make it to 7 mana. Invasion of Ikoria can pick up a Glissa, but I'm not really going to make it there at this rate. Pick up the untapped land. I could unseal the Necropolis if I survive another swing, but I won't because I double block there, take 6. I guess that barely survives. I mean, I really just doing my best to go through the motions here, but I'm pretty sure there's not an out. But the best bet seems like go for the unseal Glissa. I've got 3 mana up here, which means I could alternatively flip 1 incubator, have 3 creatures to block with, and convoke a Collective Nightmare. Could triple block the Cliff Charger, Collective Nightmare the Kami of Whispered Hopes, take 7. The alternative is double block Kiln Beast, go to 3, and let them flip Muruganda. I think I do that. I think I'm actually on Collective Nightmare. Possibilities. We're already dead to pretty much any combat trick in the book. And pretty much any burn spell in the book. This way we would kill Cliff Charger and the Kami. Meaning they would only have a 7/5 menace left, and I have more than enough incubators to flip and block a 7/5. Yikes. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 mana for this, play a land, have 4 mana up to flip 2 incubators. I could vanquish the weak Rada. But then I don't have a good block for Kiln Beast. Play like 1 removal spell, I'm dead. Flipping 2 incubators is 4 blockers total, so either Rada or Kiln Beast dies on my blocks. If they don't have another combat trick or removal spell coming up. Do I save Vanquish here or save the incubators? I think I save the incubators. If I go double block, I'm left with a single 2/2 against the 7/5, which isn't going to be enough to kill it later. But if I leave all these around, I can triple block the Kiln Beast later. If they have any trick, I'm dead, because they buff Rada to not dying to vanquish the weak. Okay, Rada's dead. Converter Beast and a 5/5 could double block Kiln Beast. If this gets them to not attack, then we unseal the Necropolis during their end step. If they draw removal, we're dead. If they draw burn, we're dead. That's been the case for several turns. Pass turn, play the unseal then. Pick up Glissa. Pick up Vatkeeper, I suppose. Hit another land, that means I could play Vatkeeper Glissa, which is monumental. Transform all incubators I control. Got multi-blocks for the Kiln Beast. So Vorinclex, they'll have the mana to flip that. Mill 10 and put 2 milled creatures back on top of their deck. Give Phyrexian's First Strike Death Touch. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's lethal. They have to make some blocks. This is a Phyrexian as well. We go First Strike, Death Touch, attack all here, I think. If this thing flips, mills 10, puts 2 creatures, then puts a bunch of counters, we're not going to get there. Yeah, First Strike, Death Touches, they block the 5/5, the 3/5, take 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then, no, they could block with like everybody but Vorinclex. Or block just the 5/5 and survive. 6 plus 8 is 12. No, 6 plus 8 is 14. So they have to block 2 things, right? Block there. 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, I mean, theoretically on board, they have to block with both their creatures. I'm super dead to Vorinclex, though. If Vorinclex sticks around and they survive, they have a trick of some kind. Okay. Didn't seem like a trick, and there's no trick there, so here's Wary Thespian. Sure, Blighted Burgeoning is fine. Play a Blade Master and pass. And the concession from our opponents. They did not top deck a burn spell at the last moment, so a massive, massive comeback there. Talk about a swingy game. We started miles behind, but slowly and surely just keep blocking as best as we can to chip away at the board state, using our life total very much as a resource there, going all the way down to 1 life to kill as many creatures during combat as possible. And it pans out in the end. We managed to get our opponent to just run out of stuff eventually. They just draw pretty poorly. We draw pretty well. And we can make it back, crawling back from the jaws of defeat. We are going to be 2-1 now, heading into game number 4. Here we are on the play for game 4. Got some overgrown pests and blighted burgeonings. Definitely going to have all the mana. Now we drew into a turn 2 Wary Thespian, which is great to start things off. Get a Scornblade Berserker. Doesn't really fit into the curve perfectly. Good card, but gonna play Pest next turn. Beast after that. You know, I think I'll keep it anyway. It's pretty easy to find a spot to have one extra mana that we aren't using later on, especially with all these ways to hit more mana in the hand right now. Play Burgeoning, that's going to make it so we have 4 mana next turn, 5 if I hit a land. I could go Pest and then flip the 2/2 after that. I think that's probably perfectly fine. If I top deck a land, I can play Converter Beast Berserker. If I don't draw land, then I play Overgrown Pest, pick up a land, play the land, and flip the Incubate token. Okay, hit the land, so I think I do go Converter Beast Scornblade Berserker here. Assimilate Essence, fair enough. Poke you for 4. They're down to 13 now. Now we've got 2 Overgrown Pests that at this point, mana-wise, we're probably just looking for Invasion of Ikoria and Ayara. Well, neither in the first 5. What about the next 5? No, they were not in the top half of our deck at that point. Sadness on the stack. Well, 10 cards closer to Ayara and Invasion of Ikoria. Another Blighted Burgeoning. Just gonna crack this right now. There's Ayara. Don't have the mana to pay for another Assimilate Essence from our opponent. We've got a 5/5 to block with, so I don't have attacks here anymore. I guess I can just Burgeoning and flip both my Incubators during their end step. And then we play Ayara next turn and we'll have the 4 mana to spend. Alright, flip a 5/5 and draw 2 cards. Use their play during our end step. Play a Swamp. Gairudi's a pretty massive win con here. They milled our Glissa and Gloomfang Mauler. That is unfortunate. Because I'm pretty sure our Unsealed Necropolis and our Wayfinder, our 2 pieces of Graveyard Recursion, are on the bottom of our deck. I guess Invasion of Ikoria works as Graveyard Recursion too. If we draw into that, we can reanimate a Glissa from grave. Could Ayara back a Glissa, but get exiled in our end step. I guess that could have been a little bit of an argument for keeping a Dreg Recycler in. The way that the backside of Ayara works is she's going to exile whatever we bring back during our end step. But if I have a way to sacrifice whatever I reanimate with Ayara Furnace Queen. Then I can sacrifice it before it gets exiled in the end step and then pick it back up from the graveyard in the next turn. So we could constantly pick up a thing for a turn, sack it, pick it back up, sack it every other turn kind of thing. So there's the Invasion of Ravnica to exile our Ayara. And we're just in a top deck. We're kind of staring at our opponent. They've got a bunch more cards than us, though, because they've hit some card draw. Alright, I guess we gotta transform this right now. They're killing the Vat Keeper. But yeah, we're not taking any damage right now. The board states are pretty even. Everything's kind of locked up. Alright, there's their own Vat Keeper. Pass turn. Well, their board state is now larger than ours. They're at the point where they can start attacking and tipping the scales. I do not have enough creatures to clear out their board on blocks. I will run out of creatures and start just taking damage very quickly if they start attacking. With their like 6/6, 4/4, and 5/5 here. Dang, not a single land was milled by Gyruda, which means our land count is still really high in the deck. Show me the combat trick. Yep. Don't love that card, but I don't hate it. They end up casting something here. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have played around a combat trick on Gyruda with more blocks, but still trading 3 creatures into Gyruda plus combat trick would still leave me incredibly behind on board. The odds they just have double combat trick here. Whatever, I'll play. Well, if I play around it this time, they just kill 3 2/2s if they don't have a combat trick, and then I have almost nothing left. But even if I trade a 4/4 and a 2/2 into Gyruda, I have 2 2/2s. I have pretty much nothing left either way. So, whatever. Kill the 4/4 and a 2/2, alright. No blue or black spells. RIP me. And still just cast this whenever I immediately need it as a blocker. As long as I don't need to block it immediately, or need to block with it immediately, I'm going to hold on to it to try to get the value. Okay, I kind of need to just block with it now, I think. I mean, I guess I could just let them flip Invasion of Ravnica. We can kill a 2/3 without losing a creature and just take 4. I mean, I just all in on Invasion of Ikoria top deck here. So let's get the Moloch to let me dig 5 cards deep for it. Or not. No blue or black spells still. Nope. Take 15 damage if I don't play Moloch this turn. Here we are for game 5, 2 and 2. We've got Port and Tracker into Blighted Burgeoning again, which can be wild if it pops off. Uh-oh, drawn double black cards with my mono green hand. Eyes of Gataxius, draw a card, get a 3/3 Incubator. There's Burgeoning. Flitting Gorilla. 2/2 flyer that could put something from grave back on top of their deck later. I think I'd rather flip this right now than try to make it bigger with Vat Keeper. Just get that mana sink out of the way so I can tap all my mana into something else and still have a blocker for Aetherblade Agent. 5 mana now. Could play a Failed Conversion or an Ayara or a Vat Keeper. All kinds of stuff. Don't really have anything great to do with Ayara yet, but if I don't play Ayara while I have a Port and Tracker on board, if the Port and Tracker dies, I might not have mana for Ayara later. Yeah, I really don't have much to do. I guess I'll just set up the Vat Keeper. Ready to make bigger flips soon enough. Island cycle a Tidal Terror. And they grab an island and drop it on the board. And an Azumi Informant. Card Forest number 5. Another Blighted Burgeoning. Just get really goofy with the mana here. Just load up 1 mega Burgeoning land for Portent's Tracker. Alright, we're chilling. Hanging out with our opponent. Oh, hey, Glissa. Are we not chill anymore? Yeah, actually, I have the 4 mana for the counterspell if it isn't Artistic Refusal, and if it is Artistic Refusal, then they're tapped out. Okay, well, we know the game plan. We've just entered the incubate zone. Hoarding Broodlord. They get to tutor, search their library for any card, and that spell will also have Convoke. So they could probably just grab a removal spellcaster right now. They grab a Forest to be able to Cosmic Hunger. I cannot do anything about that. But I can hit them for a lot while they only have a Broodlord right now. Might even be able to lethal them. Because they have 1 blocker. Block the 3/3, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I, let's see. Block there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't have any other 5 mana value things to sacrifice right now, though. So I don't quite get there. What if I make one of these a 4/4? They block the 4/4, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Block 4/4, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 12. I don't have enough mana to do that, though. Can't flip one as a 4/4 and the other as a 2/2 in the same turn. Without tapping Tracker. I mean, I can get them killed in 2 swings, definitely. Block that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. "12, 13, 14 if I attack with Ayara, but also 12, 13, 14 if I don't, by sacking a 3 mana value thing. So if we get them to a position where they have 1 less blocker than we have attackers, they're just going to be dead. They don't kill us on the crack back here. Yeah, I mean, they're basically at 1. If they don't kill Ayara or they don't play enough blockers, then they're at 0. Pass turn, let's see. Instant speed interaction for this. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. I vanquish the weak and they die. Or I failed conversion and they die. Either or. I Gloomfang Mauler and they die. Six mana on tap is 9 mana. I think I just see if a Vanquish the Weak resolves first. Because if it does, they're already dead on board. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 attackers. I think I just send in then. All right. 3 and 2 now, at least going to be an even run out of the deck, getting 1,000 gems back out of the event, but we'll see if we can keep it going as we head into round number 7. Here we are on the draw for game number 7. Another mono green hand. We've got Wayfinder into Overgrown Pest potentially on the draw. I think I'll keep this. Third land gives us Pest, which gives us whatever we need. And we might even get some lucky Wayfinder hits. Probably not on the draw. Kind of hard to get some damage in with that when you're on the draw. Alright, we've drawn a ton of lands here, which is perfect. So we are curving out well. Our opponent has started with Iridescent Blade Master into Serpent Blade Assailant. So we'll take a hit there. I'm kind of okay with Wayfinder trading into Assailant. Could also just vanquish the weak on it. Get the Death Toucher out of the way. I'd rather be playing more creatures, yeah. Keep Vanquish for Blade Master or something else later. Let's roll out with Overgrown Pest. Blade Master coming in hot and just getting buffed. They're not doing anything else with their mana that turn. Ooh, a Glissa now? We know we can do that on turn 4. I'll just play a Converter Beast here. I don't think I need to vanquish this Blade Master yet. If they want to spend their whole turn dumping all their mana to deal 5 to us, I'm pretty okay with it. Ral's Reinforcements, well, that is a no, they do not want to do that, so we'll just take 3. Invasion of Ikoria is the draw, so even if Glissa dies, if we get 2 more turns, we can reanimate the Glissa now. Well, if they've got a wild combat trick, I'll let them make us need to Invasion of Ikoria the Glissa back. Is it double up? Is this +2/+2 twice? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. You can get Glissa back later. We're on Vanquish the Weak, holding up the mana to flip these and have blockers up. Corruption of Tawashi. Whenever one of their cards flips, they draw a card. Guessing they just pass through because we have such big incubators. Yeah, so we'll just flip them all while we have the mana. And then say hello to Glissa number 2. I do need to not die, but also flipping an Invasion of Ikoria would basically immediately kill my opponent, so I'll send my 1 creature that's big enough to attack at the Invasion of Ikoria. And they are going to double block, so we'll kill the Blade Master. They went for Corruption of Tawashi, flip into draw a card, and Shatter the Source Glissa. Well, we can flip Invasion of Ikoria now, guaranteed. So I believe we do that. If I can get 18 power on the board, they're just dead, which, I mean, with an 8/8, it's not hard to do. Has to be 18 non-human power, but I don't think we have any humans in our deck. We might have 1 human somewhere. Most of this stuff is non-human. Send in the squad here. I can flip both of these and still have Moloch or Vanquish up if something weird happens. So I think I put Zalortha on the 3/3, because then I can Vanquish if they try to kill Zalortha there. And then just put the 0/1 on the 4/4 to play it safe. Six damage, that ain't gonna do it against Vanquish, and that should be the game. Eight, 16, 17, 18, exactsies. Yeah, they scooped them up as I move to combat. We are now 4-2, breaking even on the draft. Great place to be. We'll see if we can't take it a bit farther as we head into game 7. Here we are on the play for game number 7. I don't think this hand is super keepable. Mono green hands are keepable because we have overgrown pests and trackers and stuff in green. All we have in black are cards like Berserker to try to just straight draw cards to find the forests. So with this hand, I play a Berserker turn 1, I cycle it away turn 2 and cross my fingers. Yeah, I think I'd mulligan this. Okay, this is better mana-wise. We'll just drop a land. Still have 4 mana thanks to the Portent Tracker. Ichor Drinker to start things off. That's going to be a solid attacker into the tracker. However, I drew into my 2 mana 2/2, so I will play that instead for now, since I can play Vat Keeper on turn 3. I don't need to untap a land on turn 3. Wow, alright, well, Ichor Drinker into Berserker is pretty great here. Yeah, I'm not going to dump extra mana into Blade Master. Getting a 2/2 lifelinker off the board would be decent, but having a 3/3 also stops it from attacking. Alright, drop the Elvish Vat Keeper. Send in for 2 since there's not going to be any good blocks for our 2/2. Pass the turn. They're just going to cycle the Berserker to draw a card. Pass turn with 3 mana up. Could drop Scornblade Berserker and Portent Tracker. Seems fine. I don't know where I put my +1/+1 counter though, because I kind of want to have a blocker up for the Ichor Drinker. I guess if I hit for 6, it's okay to not have a blocker up. Yeah, we'll go for the hit for 6 here. Iolon, destroy the Blade Master? Alright. It's A-okay. Slam in for 5 or play a Portent Tracker. I think I want to set up my mana. I am not going to slam in because now if I attack, I hit them for 3, but then they hit me for 2 and gain 2, which equalizes out to me getting hit for 2 and them getting hit for 1 if I let the Ichor Drinker in. So I'm going to not let it in for now. Until I have the 1 mana up to sack Berserker, then it's going to be a really easy chump block that'll also counter their life gain. Completed Huntmaster, and another Ichor Drinker, so they've got a 3/3 army of Incubators set up with that card. Can flip this 2/2 Incubator and attack with that, but it attacks poorly against their 2/3. Could flip this and play Wayfinder in the same turn. I don't really have a good attack with Vat Keeper anymore, because if they trade, they could block with both the Ichor Drinkers and trade those in, and then I don't have a way to make my Incubator bigger later, potentially. Yeah, Huntmaster double Ichor Drinkers kind of just locked things up. And now we need to hit lands into Glissa or something strong. Or a Yara or something. Let's just cycle the Berserker. Overgrown Pest for later. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna need a bomb. It's gonna be a long game. Maybe not that long. Hitotsugu Kairi is quite the bomb. 5 damage every turn in the sky. Even if I kill it, they get to make me lose a bunch of life and potentially cast an instant or sorcery for free. if they put an instant or sorcery on top of their deck here. And that would be only if I could kill it. If I don't hit a land, I can't even attempt to kill it. We do hit a land, so you can try to kill Hidetsugu and Kairi, but then if they put an instant or sorcery on top of their deck, they're going to cast it for free and make me lose 5 life anyway. But if I wait a turn, then I'm just going to take 5 to the face in the sky, and then kill it next turn, in which case they'll still probably make me lose life, even if they don't cast a spell for free. Yeah. Just gotta bite the bullet here and get got. Shoot me for 3, cast Eyes of Gataxius? Sure. Not horrible. I'm gonna mill those. We're really just digging for some high impact stuff. Those are not that. Take 3 damage from their Eyes of Gataxius Incubator. And we'll see what else they're up to. Flitting Gorilla. 2/2 flyer that's going to reanimate something from grave. Well, not reanimate, but it's going to put Hidetsugu and Kairi back on top of their deck. There's our Invasion of Ikoria. Need to hit another land to do it for 7. Which is our best bet. I think it's still going to be too slow though, because we're taking 2 a turn in the sky and we're at 13 life. And then as soon as Gorilla dies, we're going to start taking 5 a turn in the sky. They can even sack the Gorilla to the Huntmaster if they want to guarantee a Hidetsugu and Kairi. But for now, they're just going to sack an Ichor Drinker. So flip the new Incubator they got from sacking the Ichor Drinker. At this point, it's looking like I'm never going to have the mana to turn this into a 4/4, because as soon as I do, I'm just going to get a Glissa instead. So I should cash in my 3/3 to trade off into a 3/3, cash in a 2/2 on a 3/3 as well. That is not the land we wanted for Invasion of Ikoria. Doesn't really help us at all. I guess I can kill Huntmaster now. But I can't kill Gorilla, or they just get Hidetsugu and Kairi. Better to hold up the mana to kill a Huntmaster, or play the Wildwood Escort here. Probably kill the Huntmaster. Not by a lot, though. We have to wait till their end step so that they don't respond to us vanquishing the Huntmaster by sacking the Gorilla. Because Hidetsugu and Kairi kill us a lot faster than the Gorilla. So we'd rather just let them have the Gorilla and try to outrace it than kill the Gorilla and die to Hidetsugu and Kairi. So we want to make sure Huntmaster doesn't sack Gorilla. That being said, we are falling behind on the ground as well, with all of the Iker Drinker completed Huntmaster shenanigans that have popped off by now. They've gotten tons of 2-for-1 value there. Alright, they get to kill our 2-3 now. Down to 9 life. Exile an Iker Drinker from the graveyard to incubate 2 again. Well, that's kind of weird. They wanted the Invasion of Ikoria land, but I guess this is just what I was gonna Invasion of Ikoria for, so... We'll play the Glissa. Cleansing Glissa. I think it really matters, because I'm likely to, if I top deck a land, just tutor out Glissa. We're super dead by then. Regardless, because we die to the flyer. Yeah. I guess I could have chump blocked with Port and Tracker there. Now I flip 2 2/2s. I block the 2/2s on the ground, go to 1 in the sky, and then I don't have anything to deal with flyers. Invasion of Ikoria, I don't think I even have a flyer or a reach creature to tutor for. Could tutor up an Ayara. Try to go the life gain route. It's my only out, but then I don't draw Glissa anymore. Right, because as it stands, if I just flip these things this turn, or play Wildwood Escort, then block everything on the ground, go to 1, then I top deck Glissa and die in the sky next turn. But if I Invasion of Ikoria for Ayara, I could maybe life gain into getting some more turns. Because I can't Invasion of Ikoria for Ayara next turn, because she'll be summoning sick. Yeah, I mean, this would be 2 blockers on the ground. To block the 2 ground creatures and some potential life gain setup. Die to any removal. Any combat trick to buff the gorilla. Take our 2 damage in the sky, we're down to 1. There's an Omen Hawker. Wait. How is that possible? Whitelist is streamer? Goated? Are we gonna sack a Portent Tracker? Gain 2 life, hit Invasion of Ikoria for 2? I'll have 4 blockers on the ground. Yeah. They head to combat. Let's get my mana out of Portent Tracker while it's still around. Declare blocker's step. I am going to gain 2 life. Die to a Cryptomancer. Or pretty much any combat trick. Alright, stay at 1. No combat tricks. Gift of Completion gives them a 3/3 Incubator. And they play a land for turn. Collective Nightmare. Could kill the Flitting Gorilla, but I don't want to still because Hidetsugu and Kairi. And I could also just kill the Flitting Gorilla with a Wildwood Escort sacrifice to flip Zalortha. So, is there a way to get 25 non-human power on board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. After Glissa incubates twice, 18 plus 8 is 26. So if I sack a Wildwood Escort to flip an Invasion of Ikoria, and then next turn to flip all my incubators, I could kill them. That's the game plan. Like I guess I can play a Scornblade Berserker to get extra power on the board right now. I guess I'll put it on the creature that we're least likely to sacrifice. Creature most likely to give us extra power. Get our 8/8 reach. I could block here. I could also just let it in. But they just put Hidetsugu and Kairi on top. They don't even get to replay Hidetsugu and Kairi. But then if they have You're Already Dead, destroy a creature that's been dealt damage, they could kill Zalortha, and then I don't kill them next turn. And they kill me with Hidetsugu Kairi. I think I take 2 just to play around You're Already Dead. We are very fingers crossed here. For, no interaction from our opponent. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I use Ayara and sack Glissa instead. That's 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Wait. No, I didn't add the 5. 8, 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then I could manually flip and have extra incubators for later. Although I'm just going to die right now if it doesn't succeed regardless. If I just go all in. So I might as well just go for the flip and go all in. If that's the plan, yeah. Shouldn't be able to block any of these if they can't kill Zalortha. If they can kill Zalortha, then they're good. Oh, I guess they can block. I just assigned damage as though they weren't. Means I should probably Collective Nightmare the lifelinker here. So they don't gain 2. Sign damages those Alortha weren't blocked. Yes. Ayara for the win. Ayara for the win. That's going to be our 5th victory. We're now 5-2 in the money with this deck, heading into round number 8. Here we are now for game number 8. We're starting with a Portent Tracker and 1 mana of each color, which means that we could have 3 mana, divided as we choose, double green or double black. Cast our Ayara early, our Overgrown Pest. Invasion of Ikoria for the late game. The hand looks phenomenal, especially if I top deck some lands. But if I don't, if they don't have removal for Portent Tracker, we can use Overgrown Pest to hit more lands, and Portent Tracker to give us more mana. Tap land, a little awkward, but it'll fit into the curve perfectly fine if Portent Tracker remains on board, because then I can still play a 3-drop next turn. Playing against black, green, and white, they start with a Seraph of New Capenna. Let's roll out with our Overgrown Pest here. Keeping all the lands we need to get to Invasion of Ikoria. This is going to be 5 mana now on turn 4. We can play one of our 3-drops and a 2-drop. There's a completed Huntmaster, so 2 cards that care about sacrificing things, potentially. Okay, could play Overgrown Pest and Wary Thespian still. Feels like a pretty good draw to me. And a solid turn. I guess if I have an Ayara out before I cast Invasion of Ikoria, that'll be great. I want to play Invasion when I have 7 mana. I currently have 5. Next turn 6, turn after that 7, so I can play Ayara next turn still. We'll just do the Overgrown Pest, Wary Thespian play for now. Failed conversion. Sure, let's get a little bit of interaction in here. If they flip this Seraph of New Capenna, we'll probably want to conversion that. Or if they cast their own Ayara, they can complete a Huntmaster and sack the Ayara so that they don't lose any value here. That's fine, we still deal with the Ayara, which is pretty important. Well, they're not going to sack Ayara, alright. Don't need those lands unless my Portent Tracker dies, so I'm just going to mill those. Trade into Wary Thespian. No combat trick. Combat trick it is, sure. I will definitely trade that combat trick into a Wary Thespian also. That is still cool with me. Converter Beast is the draw. Seems fine by me. They've got 6 mana up now. Double green, triple black, and a white. They drop a Progenitor Exarch for 2 3/3 incubators. Hit us for 2 in the sky. Go to our turn. Let's Invasion of Ikoria for Glissa for 2 2/2 incubators. They have a Collective Nightmare or something. Something Convoke for 3 mana or less. Probably a Collective Nightmare to play around. Oh no, they just have Huntmaster's ability, so we don't know what they could have. Vanquish the weak. RIP, sadness on the stack. And they've got a bunch of 3/3s to start flipping at us. Still taking 2 a turn in the sky. Converter Beast, we can start getting some 5/5s. Which stops the 3/3s from getting in pretty much ever. Yeah, I'll drop the Converter Beast. We're threatening to flip a 5/5 on them, and if we don't need to, if they cast a black spell, then we can cast a Sandstalker Moloch to draw another card by using Portent Tracker to untap the second green. Elvish Vatkeeper, ooh, that's a black spell. Could have also just played Ayara off Portent Tracker, which might have been better because that starts flipping the invasion pretty quickly. But we can do the same thing we did last game of trying to just outpace their damage by just getting more life gain, just flinging Converter Beasts everywhere. 8 damage total, 4 damage per fling. Feels pretty good. Yeah, Ayara should be pretty nuts here. But I think it's alright we held off on the Moloch because it did pan out for us this time. Draw Blighted Burgeoning, I guess. And a Scornblade Berserker. So definitely Blighted Burgeoning before anything else for Portent Tracker to go wild. Drop Ayara. Still have 3 mana up. That's 1 mana to get a counter on something with Berserker, and then 2 mana to flip an Incubator. I don't want to cash in the Converter Beast for a draw. I'd rather cash it into Ayara if she doesn't die, so let's just get another 3/3 to block a 3/3. Let's buff an Overgrown Pest, I think. Pass from there. This Vatkeeper is going to be an issue because they could start flipping these things as 6/6s. No, Deadly Derision on Ayara. I'm so jealous I didn't see a single copy in our draft pod. Fantastic removal. Although I guess just to Vanquish the Weak would have worked there still. But that is pretty bad for us. That just gets rid of our whole game plan here. Still got multiple pieces of Graveyard Recursion we can draw into that would be phenomenal here. The Wildwood Rescuer and the card that lets each player mill 3 and then we get to pick up 2 creatures. Obviously that one would be even better, but they would all be great. Swamp is not better. Let's cycle the Berserker now. Find a forest as well. Not really break through all these 3/3s. So we're just passing the turn, chipping away at the battle with Tracker's ability. Looking to draw our Graveyard Recursion. We have 2 excellent cards in the grave ready to take over the game if we can get them back. But we need to hit them soon. We are dying in 5 swings from Seraph of New Capenna. Potentially even less if they flip it. They are going to flip it here. So we got to hit that Graveyard Recursion ASAP. That can kill us in just 2 attacks. I guess I have to hit removal ASAP here. Yeah, Vanquish the Weak, Collective Nightmare. All of our removal spells are good enough to kill this Seraph. What's the other one? It's Cosmic Hunger. Alright, Collective Nightmare. We've got a shot. If they don't have instant speed interaction for this, they've got nothing else to sack to the Huntmaster, so if I wait till the end step, they're not gonna sack anything. So no matter what, when I try to kill the Seraph, they're going to have Huntmaster untapped to incubate with, so I'm just going to do it right now to give them less chances to have... Like, now they don't have a white mana up, they couldn't have Angelic Intervention, they couldn't have a second aerial boost, so the number of outs they could have to protect the Seraph are less if I just do it right now. They can sack it to the Huntmaster, though, to retain bodies on the board, but they'll still have no flyers. Okay, cool. Now we might have some amount of breathing room here. Both of us have a pretty massive board state. But again, they can start doing the Vat Keeper Huntmaster combo to start turning all their 3/3s into 6/6s slowly over time. I do that. I mean, I guess I just do this. Let's do double 5/5 there. The odds they kill both. They need to have an instant speed removal spell that just fully kills one of these Phyrexians, which would be possible for 2 mana with Final Flourish. Sack this, -6/-6, one of them. I'll throw a 2/2 there as well. I don't think I'm going to flip these in case I draw my own Vat Keeper. That's not my grave, is it? No. Deep Root Wayfinder. I mean, if we last until this invasion flips, the invasion does potentially kill them if I have 18 power on the board. I am going to keep losing power here, though, as they keep flipping 6/6s. Don't really have a good way to play around a removal spell now. Because if I load up another 3/3 onto here, then if they don't have a removal spell, I'm giving them another kill they wouldn't have had otherwise, letting them kill 2 creatures instead of just 1 5/5. I think we just go for the onboard blocks now. Oh, that's really good with the Huntmaster. So Vanquish the Weak. Kill the Vat Keeper here so they stop getting 6/6s. Still have a bunch of 3/3s though, and our 5/5's gone now. Yeah, I mean, I think we're killing the Vat Keeper over anything else. They can Huntmaster it. That is fine. Can't make 6/6s anymore. Alright, so we're pretty unlikely to just immediately kill them if we flip Invasion of Ikoria, but it's going to give us an 8/8 blocker, which stops all their attacks at least. It gives us more breathing room to draw into our Graveyard Recursion. We've got 3 pieces of Graveyard Recursion out of these 14 cards. No, we have 2, just Wildwood Escort and Unseal the Necropolis, so 2 cards that are basically just insta-wins in our deck if we can find them out of these 14. Gonna have to find them fast, though, at this point. When it's been a lot of turns by now. So now we have to find them fast. We had time earlier. Just have not been finding them. I mean, this theoretically clears enough of the board to give us the time to flip Invasion of Ikoria. I think we survive one more attack and then we flip Invasion the turn after their next attack. Again, we don't win by doing that, but we block. And we can convert it into a win. Could actually flip the invasion right now, because they only have one blocker. Well, they have two blockers, but got 3 attackers. They use Huntmaster, sack Thalid, they attack with like a 3/3 and a 1/1 next turn. I think it's better to just still flip it next turn. Because in order to flip it right now, I have to get one of these to connect, which means I have to attack with all 3 and tap this. I have an 8/8 and a 0/1 up as blocks. It'd be just, I think, a little too easy for them to go wide on me. If I hit anything, any creature, I would probably go for the flip right now, or any removal spell, or just any non-land there. We'd probably be on flip that turn. But I think it's too risky without any other way to affect the board in any way. That's pretty excellent here. Kill one of my creatures and draw a card. Yeah, now my blocks are horrible. Can only block kill one of these and then chump the other. Can't exactly not block. Wow, alright. Well, if they've got the one removal spell, we're dead. Not a lot else I can do right now. Not many decisions to be made these past several turns. They have 8 lands to destroy an 8-power creature. Exactly enough lands for that removal spell to work. Alright. That's 2 blockers against 3 2-power attackers. We just drew really dead at the end of that game. Sad way to end it. We had some really big outs there and just couldn't find them. Our graveyard recursion's all in our bottom 11. Sadness on the stack. We are going to be 5-3 to end that draft. So, pretty good record overall. We are going to be up in gems. Can't be too unhappy about that, leaving with more gems than it cost to enter. I think the deck was pretty sweet overall. We just ran a little bit cold in some of the losses overall. There was our one loss. We just needed to hit one more land to drop a 7-drop, sack it to IR, and find the kill. But just missed the land, lost the game there. And then our final loss, we just kind of ran out of gas there. Hit a lot of lands in a row. Just needed a little bit more to get the board state in our favor and did not find it. Yeah. Nothing I'm super unhappy about with the deck. I don't think the deck was, like, completely busted, but it was pretty dang good. So happy to get a positive win rate with it. 5-3 or better is where I would want to be with this deck, with Ayara and Glissa and Invasion of Ikoria all being such great bombs. The biggest flaw in the deck, again, was that our removal wasn't the best, just Collective Nightmare, Cosmic Hunger. Vanquish the Weak failed conversion. The Nightmare and the Hunger, pretty great. Vanquish was okay. Conversion, pretty bad, pretty slow. We had, again, some Deadly Derisions, maybe. That would be where the deck kind of gets over the top and becomes really, really good. But overall, still played quite well. Happy to get a nice 5-3 run today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons very much for supporting this channel, as well as you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out with me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.